address of the router 4, 2001 db814:4. That's it. And finally, for the 2001 db805, please use this root, IPv6 root for 2001 db805:/64. Please use serial 13, and also we need the link local address of the router 5, serial 10. Do show IPv6 interface brief. This is the link local address of the serial 10 of router 5. Then in R1 I can use it. So easy. Now in R1 we have 4 static routes. Do show IPv6 root static. Now we have 4 static routes with 4 methods. Let's go to the router 2. This is the router 2. The first time I'm going to use the static default route in R2, IPv6 route :/0. This means default route. And then please use this outgoing interface serial 10. So easy. We don't need any other command. You saw in the previous video I configured 6 static routes, for example, in R2, but only here I'm using one route, one static route, and this means reducing the overhead of administration, and that is for the default route. Okay, show IPv6 route. This is the routing table of the router 2. As you can see, we have a static route and the code is S, not S star, and :/010 via serial 10 directly connected. So easy. And let's go to the router 3. Everything is same with the IPv4 counterpart. Then in the router 3, IPv6 route again :/0. Here I'm going to use the next stop IPv6 2001 db813:1. That's it. Do show IPv6 route. Okay. Here again we have one static default route. Let's go to router 4. In router 4 I'm going to use outgoing interface and also next stop IPv6 route :/0 using the, for example, serial 10 and also the next stop of 2001 db814:1. It's not necessary to configure, for example, in both sides of a link one method. You can use any methods that you want. And this is only my option, my selection for better understanding, for better talking about the methods. Okay, so easy. And then do show IPv6 route. Okay, we have one static default. Finally, in R5, IPv6 route :/0. Okay, and then please use for :/0 this outgoing interface serial 10, and also we need the link local address of the router 1. Do show IPv6 interface brief. This is the link local address of the router 1 for serial 13. Copy the link local address, and after that in R5 I can copy this. Now do show, look at here, do show IPv6 route. I have one default route for this networks. Okay, so easy. After that, we can check the connectivity between the PCs. For example, again, I can create a ping table. This is the ping table. Look at here, ping, and then IP address of the VPC1. This is the IP address of the VPC1. Then ping again, the IP address of the VPC2, copy, okay, and then paste it here. After that, ping the IP address of the VPC3. This is the IP address of the VPC3 and pasting here. After that, again, ping the IP address of the VPC4. This is the IP address of the VPC4, copy and pasting here. And finally, IP address of the VPC5, ping and copy and paste. Very good. Now we can check all of the connectivities. First, I'm starting from the VPC1. This is the VPC1, and then yes, we have connectivity. As you can see, VPC1 can send traffic to all of these computers, and also from the VPC2 we have connectivity to all of these systems. Okay. And also from VPC3, this is the VPC3. And finally, from the VPC4, this is the VPC4. Yes, we have connectivity. And finally, VPC5. So easy. The same result when you configure with the static root, not a static default root. A static default root can usable for the scenarios for the routers that only have one root, and they can use this static default root instead of using many static roots. Many concepts about the static routing, for example, default root, is same as the between the IPv4 and IPv6. Let me to show you the general syntax of the IPv6 static root. Look at here, conf_d IPv6 root. Okay, look at here, IPv6 root. We configure the IPv6 prefix, for example, 2001 db802 let's say 64. Look at here, we can use one outgoing interface and also one next hop IPv6 address. For example, I'm using the serial 1, 2, and then after that you can use administrative distance, same as the IPv4. You know that in IPv4 administrative distance of the IPv4 static roots for all types is 1, and here also is 1. You can configure AD for the usage of I talked about many of that in the IPv4. The usage of the AD in the IPv6 static roots is exactly same with the IPv4 counterpart. And also we can use another option that in the other videos we can talk about then. But for now, you can understand the topic of the IPv6 default root or IPv6 static routing. And now it's your turn. You should configure this scenario from the scratch after configuring the previous video that you configured many static routes in the R2, R3, R4, and R5. I think it's very good and it's very suitable for you that configuring default root with a lower administration overhead and less commands, and finally you can give the same result, the connectivity between the VPCs. Very good. Let's start the configuration of the IPv6 static routing for default routes and default routes. In R1, you should configure normal static route. This means specific static routes. And in R2, R3, and R4, and R5, use the default routes because the default route has lower overhead for the administrator.